Today, we're going to talk about the silent protectors hiding inside your walls. Yeah, those unsung heroes that keep your home safe from electrical danger literally every single day. Okay, so to really get how they work, let's kick things off with a simple idea. Just picture the electricity in your home like water flowing through a whole network of pipes. It's this constant, powerful, and super useful flow. But what happens when one of those pipes bursts? That's where things get really dangerous. An uncontrolled surge of electricity is just like that. It can flood everything, destroy your appliances, melt the wires it's traveling on, and even start a really nasty fire. So, to stop that kind of chaos from happening, your home is equipped with these two incredible guardians. Think of them like a pair of hidden superheroes, working 24/7 to keep all that power in check. So let's properly introduce our two main characters. On one side, we have the old school classic, the fuse, and on the other, the much more modern circuit breaker. And this really gets to the heart of their big difference. The fuse, well, it's the self-sacrificing type. To stop a power surge, a little wire inside it literally melts. It's a one-time use deal. The circuit breaker, on the other hand, is the smart switch. It just trips. It flicks itself off. And because it's reusable, you can see why it's become the standard in pretty much all modern homes. You know, every hero needs a villain to fight, right? And in the world of home electricity, our protectors are always on guard against two main troublemakers. So first up, we have a villain called overload. This one's actually pretty common, and it happens when you basically ask a single circuit to do way too much work all at once. And this analogy just hits the nail on the head. A school bag's made for a few books, right? But what if you stuff it with textbooks, a bunch of bricks, a bowling ball? The seams are gonna rip. A wire is exactly the same. It has a limit. And you gotta understand the danger here is super real. The wire gets incredibly hot, which can melt that plastic coating around it, and once that happens, you've got a serious fire hazard brewing right there inside your walls. But then you have the most dangerous villain of them all, the short circuit. This isn't some slow buildup of heat. This is boom, an instant explosive event where electricity just bolts from where it's supposed to be. Just imagine the positive and negative wires are like two super strong magnets. They're supposed to work near each other, but man, they should never, ever touch directly. When they do, maybe from a frayed cord or a bad appliance, you get this sudden, insane release of energy. And here's the kicker, the speed. We're talking about a massive, dangerous surge of electricity happening in less time than it takes you to blink. There's zero time to react. You absolutely need an automatic protector. Okay, so we've met the bad guys. Now, how do our heroes actually save the day in that critical split second? Well, the fuse's strategy is pretty simple, but it totally works. Inside it, there's this really thin piece of wire, and that's the whole key. It's designed to be the weak link. So when a dangerous surge comes along, that little wire instantly melts, breaking the circuit and stopping the electricity cold. Now, the circuit breaker, it's a little less dramatic, but way smarter. It's kind of like a super vigilant teacher. The second it senses too much current, it basically yells, "Stop," and flips an internal switch to the off position. And that right there, that's its superpower. It's totally reusable. Because it's just a switch. Once you figure out the problem, like unplugging that extra heater, you can just walk over to the panel and flip it back on. No replacement needed. So what makes this stuff happen in real life? Let's bring this back to your house, to things you might actually see. So if you find your breaker has tripped, chances are it's pointing to one of these four common problems. It could be a simple overload, running the microwave and the toaster at the same time, or it could be warning you about something more serious, like a damaged wire or a wet outlet. And, if you were to peek inside your main electrical panel, you'd probably see a whole team of these specialized heroes. The most common is the MCB, the miniature circuit breaker. That's your frontline fighter against overloads and short circuits. But you might also have an RCCB. Its specific job is to protect you from electric shock. And sometimes you'll find an RCBO, which is basically the all-in-one hero that does both jobs. Now, you might be thinking these heroes only live in that one big gray box on the wall, right? But the truth is, they're everywhere. See, protection is built into almost everything, usually in layers. You've got the big guys in your main breaker box protecting whole rooms. But then, inside your phone charger or your TV, there's often a tiny little fuse acting as a last line of defense for just that one device. These guardians are working on a huge scale and a tiny scale, all to keep you safe. So, the next time your power just suddenly cuts out and you have to trudge over to the breaker box, try not to get annoyed. Instead, just take a second to thank that little switch. It's not being a nuisance. It's a superhero that just did its job and saved the day. The real question is, what was it trying to warn you about?